this is Munson with Munson Music. I want to talk about how you can play a song called The Conversation by Texas. And there's this really cool little lick that kind of intros the tune where you could play 2nd fret on the A string, and then we go to 2nd fret on the G string as kind of a hammer on the 4th fret on the G, and then you go to 3rd fret on the B string as kind of a bend idea, and then we go back to 4 on the G, and then we go back to 2nd on the G as kind of a hammer on back to 4 on the G. So you got kind of a 2, 2, 4, hammer on 4, 3, bend 4, 2, 4, 2, 2, 4, 4, 3, bend 4, 2, 4, kind of through that intro, which could be a cool way to intro the tune. Or if you wanted to back that up with a chord, it'd be starting on a B minor chord. I'll talk about some easy ways to play this. But if you know the full bar B minor, you do your 1st finger across the entire 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the B string 3rd, 3rd finger on the D string 4th fret, pinky on the G string 4th fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now you may also want to think about lifting off the pinky and making that a B minor 7. Or another way to play B minor 7 is to do 1st finger on the A 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the high E 2nd, kind of working that for your B minor 7. Or randomly, another cool way to do this would be doing 1st finger on the A 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd. I kind of dig on that voicing for your B minor. Or you can use a B5 power chord, where you do 1st finger on the A 2nd, 3rd finger on the A string or D string on the 4th fret, kind of working just the A and the D strings for kind of a B5 idea. If you want to kind of rock it out a little bit, that could be cool. And there's a couple different strumming options you may want to think about through the song. You could work it as kind of a down idea through that intro, and I'm kind of adding a little bit of muting to that. That might be a cool way to work it. Kind of kind of around the B minor. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we tried that a lot. You know, down, 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 or down, up, down, up, up, down, up could be a cool variation of that. Kind of down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 down. Or especially later on, actually in the chorus, I would really think about something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot at the beat, right now we're kind of dividing that beat into 2 parts with our down, down, up, up, down, up. So 1, 2, 1, 2, that's called an 8th note. But what a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the B minor and do it down for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you'd be doing on the 1st beat. Then on the 2nd beat, you do it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down. And then on the 3rd beat, you do it up on 2, down on 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you'll be going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, 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 down. So all together, you got down, 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 down. And then from that intro, then we go into our 1st verse. And you'll kind of hear where we start off with that same B minor lick. Then we kind of change it into a kind of a G idea by playing low E on the 3rd fret, 4th fret on the G, 4th fret on the D, 3rd fret on the B, and then 4th on the G, and then 4th on the G, but then we go to 2nd fret on the B. So you got kind of 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 2 is kind of a G idea. And then from there we play open A, 2nd on the D, 2nd on the G, 2nd on the D, and then 2nd on the B, 2nd on the G, and then we do a 2nd fret hammer on the G string back to 4th fret. So you got kind of the O, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, or A, E, or A, E, C sharp, A, B. So you may want to kind of play around with that lick too. And then from there in the verse, actually we go back to kind of our B minor idea. So if we put all that together, you have kind of the B minor idea, G idea, A idea, minor idea. And then we kind of start that over again. B minor, G, A, B minor. Or if you wanted to back that up with chords, you'd start on the B minor chord, and then we'd be going to a G major chord. We play G major. First finger goes to A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the low E string 3rd fret, and third finger on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord and sounds really happy. Now you may also want to think about putting the third finger on the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of working that for your G major. Or if you're digging on the power chord idea, you could use a G5 power chord by doing first finger on the low E 3rd, third finger on the A string 5th fret, kind of working that for your G. And then from the G, we'd be going to an A major. We play A major. First finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the B string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord. It sounds really, really happy. Now round A's in general, it can be kind of cool to lift off the third finger, make that an A sus2, or you could add in the pinky on the B string 3rd and kind of play an A sus and kind of say some things around A chords in general. Or you might even dig on an A7 sound where you kind of lift off the 2nd finger, which is a dangerous finger to lift to the A. Or you could kind of readjust the fingers and kind of work that for your A7. Or add in the pinky on the high E3rd. Or if you're digging on the power chord idea, you could do the A string and the D string of that chord as kind of the A5 power chord. Or you could take the first finger and go to Louis on the 5th fret, third finger on the A string 7th fret, and kind of use that for your A5. So you could even work it as a power chord idea, kind of like B minor, G, if you're digging on the 16th pattern, you have the B minor, G, A, B minor, B minor, G, A, B minor, kind of our expert B minor, before we go into our first chorus. Our chorus, actually, we're just kind of mixing up a lot of those things we just talked about. We got to start on the B, G, and then A, but then we go back to G. Or you can do the strumming, the B minor, G, A, G. Or if you're doing on the 16th, you have B minor, go back into almost an intro return, but it really kind of follows that first part of the verse. So you may want to bring back those licks. Or, if you wanted to, something else that I like to add to a song like this too is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, up, down, up, you can throw in a bass for the chord. So the B minor, you have the A for the bass. On the G, you'd have low E for the bass. A, you'd have the A for the bass, just to kind of reinforce what's going on. So we tried that through that intro return. You'd have the B minor with an A bass, G with a low E bass. And randomly, there's another A you may want to play around with, especially if you're digging on that other B minor voicing in the G with 3 and 4. You could do the A as an A7 sus, where you do first finger on the D 2nd, second finger on the G 2nd, third finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd. Kind of dig that. That might be a cool way if you're kind of working it. It's kind of just starting out. That way you can kind of leave 3 and 4 down through the whole tune. So we tried it that way. You'd have the B minor, G, A bass, B minor with an A bass. Or if you're digging on the 16th note, you could add basses to that and make it a bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, down, up. It can all be cool variations. So you have B minor, G, A, B minor, our chorus part. So B minor, G, A, G. Now, if you know other licks around these chords too, you know, feel free to kind of throw them in and kind of maybe tune your own a little bit and kind of see what you can say with it too. Always kind of cool to make the tune your own that way. Or you might bring it back to this. Chorus order, which would be very cool too. So kind of experiment with that too. So you have that B minor, G, A, back to G, and B minor, G, A, G. And at the very end we kind of have that B minor, myself, actually, if I was playing it out, I'd probably play a B minor, kind of make people clap at the end. But that's the basics of how you can strum through The Conversation by Texas. So, good luck!